there's some aspects of Alberta's history that Albertans don't really know about that they should. And in 1935, William Aberhart was elected as premier as a Social Credit Party. He had become famous in the province as a radio Bible preacher. Like, his nickname was Bible Bill. His name was William Aberhart. So during the 20s and into the 30s, he was one of the pioneers of radio evangelism in North America, and he developed this large radio audience teaching the Bible to Albertans, and even a little bit into Saskatchewan. And when he saw the Depression, he believed that social credit would be a political solution to that. So that's how he formed the Social Credit Party and was elected as a premier. So we had a radio Bible preacher as premier, William Aberhart, from 1935 to 1943 when he died. Then he was replaced by Ernest Manning, who'd come to be trained by William Aberhart, and he became not only premier but also the radio evangelist, took over Aberhart's role as premier and took over his role as radio evangelist, and he continued that throughout the entire time he was premier as well. So Alberta had radio evangelist premier from 1935 until 1968, which was more than 30 years. So Ernest Manning took the radio program across Canada. So there'd be people in Ontario who'd be hearing Alberta's premier preaching the gospel on the radio, on a weekly basis. And this kind of sounds strange to us, but here we had, this was Alberta. We had our political leaders, our top political leaders were also Bible-believing Christians who wanted to get the gospel out to other Albertans and other Canadians. And they were in political office and doing radio evangelism at the same time for more than 30 years. And most people, I think, don't remember this or don't know it. And it's an important indicator of what Alberta was like in the past. Like, Alberta at one time was called the Bible Belt of Canada, and part of the reason was because we had radio evangelist premiers. But I think Albertans need to know more about their past for the very reasons we talked about. Why Canadians should know about the Christian past is because this is an important part of our identity, an important part of what our province was in the past, and the Christian influence that was here.